Okay, now that after I had to think a moment after seeing Herman, it was a little emotional because he was like a towering man. And now to see him without legs, that is just hard. And I know some part of him knows that it's hard for, all men are like this. You can't acknowledge he has become weaker. You can't. You just, it's not the way. In a way you acknowledge it, but also in a way that that a certain level of pride has to be maintained. And also the thing is hopefully the person has kept their mind like a diamond. He had. But what his statement, I don't know what everyone's going to do. I don't know what we are going to do about like the nation, the people. One of the things I had to think about was now reports that are coming in about, really, as you saw how over the last couple of videos I was going into what now we're learning about the psyche of the left, that these are people who are and have consistently been for almost easily, one could say, up to 100 years, consistently pretty violent, and very good at having sort of these kind of an army of kind of confused goons, rubes who are easy to fool into it, and then a whole bunch of ideologues that keep up this idea that well, you're being cheated, and blame the farmer. Blame the person who is actually not really rich. They're just neck deep in business. That they're not actually rich yet. They don't have just money sitting around like doubloons in a room. That they're neck deep in business, so all their money is actually mostly business assets, and they just have really good credit. Now more people understand that. Now there's more and more people who they've lived, Gen Xers and boomers, and now even millennials and Gen Zers are understanding, like, being in business makes you have to look like you have your shit in order, but you're not really rich when you're in business. It's business assets. It's not, you're not rich just because you like rent out a house. Like, that's, and in fact, one of the things everyone's starting to find out, once you are sort of a business person, once you're like renting property, things like that, you actually are incredibly dependent upon, hey Chloe, everybody else. Like, you need society once you're in business. You need everyone else. Like, you realize how valuable humans are once you want to make money. And oh, pear tree. Let's see where. Not quite there. Oh yeah, definitely not there yet. Oh, but these will be, yeah. This gets just enough rain at the right time. It should actually be pretty nice. The thwarting, therefore, of business to work easily means then that there's costs that only somebody could come in from the outside with the room of doubloons to afford to start a business and the risk thereof. The West Coast is promising itself this disaster. Only BlackRock can save the West Coast now. That kind of thing. Like, that's the horror now. that now it's going to have to be quasi-rapacious lending to keep the Northwest and the West Coast going. Like, who else would invest? Who else is going to put their money into all this? And they've done everything. Like, the voters have voted, and now people who can carry the weight have left and have gone to Texas and Florida. Who's going to invest in a place that they're like, no, the people will vote to let my shit burn down. So it's real. This is going to be really, really hard, and not very long from now. That's the thing that's hitting me. Is that I'm hearing the stuff I keep hearing. It's not very long from now, and now even I think it's J.P. Morgan Chase is saying, gold is what you should invest in. That's the next area of growth. They're seeing it move upwards. Once gold's above $2,000, there's a lot of people who've been holding on to it who they're going to have real assets at that point. Real deal Holyfield assets. Yeah. And oh my God, if now you see we're starting to barely discuss, this is how actually the GOP crushes it. This is how the GOP totally and completely wins. But once they win, they got to be ready. You start questioning the efficacy of solar panels and the health of them. You just have a hearing on how effective are solar panels. The EPA and all these people, and you get detractors. You get the people who also are the detractors, who are like, no, these leak all these poisons, they do this, they do that, blah, blah, blah. And only on that subject. And then watch the silver markets change.